Okay, we're talking about lesson 78 today, using the discriminant. So we're still in the quadratics unit. Remember, quadratics is the shapes that look like a U, up or down, right? This year we're doing linear. We're done with that. We're doing quadratics right now, and then we're going to do exponential models later. So we're talking about this part of the quadratic equation called the discriminant. Okay, so if you look at the quadratic equation, can you guys actually sing it for me? Let's see if you can do it. Ready? And begin. Okay, good. Excellent. Okay, so we can learn a lot about the answer and actually save time by looking at the discriminant, which is just this part right here. So if we know what the discriminant is, then we could just focus on that. So today all we're going to focus on is this part. So when you're doing your homework tonight, all you have to do is, just focus on that part. So I'm just going to erase everything that's around it. All right? And we're just going to focus on that. That's called the discriminant, okay? So what you're going to do is focus on that, all right? The steps are right here for tonight. For today, identify and evaluate the discriminant b squared minus 4ac. And then once you figure out the answer to that, if it's positive, then there's two real solutions. If it's 0, there's one real solution. If it's negative, then there are no real solutions, remember? Okay, so if we know that, then we know how many answers there are. Okay, did you notice sometimes when we did the quadratic formula there were two answers, sometimes there's only one answer, sometimes it said no solution? So we could predict by using the discriminant, okay? So I'll do a couple problems, and then you will talk about it, copy it down, and then we'll do a few together, and then we'll be done, okay? So here we go. Number 1, 10x squared minus 8x minus 11 is equal to negative 9. First thing we want to do is figure out a, b, and c. I'm noticing that all the c's are not together. We have a negative 9 that's across the way. I want to bring it over, so I'm going to add 9 to both sides. Okay? When we do that, these cancel, leaving just 0. Negative 11 plus 9 is negative 2. Bring down the rest of the problem, negative 8x. And then we have 10x squared. Okay, so we know that a is equal to 10, b is equal to negative 8, and c is equal to negative 2. Okay, we already know these things, so now we're going to figure out the discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac. So we're going to put negative 8 squared minus 4 times a, which is 10, times c, which is negative 2. And I'm going to work this out. 8 squared becomes 64. Negative 4 times 10 is negative 40. Negative 40 times negative 2 is positive 80. 64 plus 80 is 144. Since this is a positive answer, then we know that there's going to be or discriminant's 144 is going to be 2 real solutions. Okay? That's the answer to number 1. That's all we're doing. Okay? So what do we do again? Figured out a, b, and c. You're just plugging it into the discriminant, right? Then you figured it out, and once you figure out the answer for the discriminant, if it's positive, you figured out as 2 real solutions. Okay? Which the directions are right here. Don't see that? Watch me do number 2 one more time. We're just figuring out the discriminant and figuring out how many solutions there are. Number 2, we have a, b, and c, but our c is not all combined, so we need to add 3 to both sides. So we have 2k squared minus 8k plus 8 is equal to 0. We know a is 2. B is equal to negative 8. C is equal to 8. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is write down the discriminant b squared minus 4 times a times c. Replacing each letter with the variable that we stated, so it's going to be negative 8 squared again, minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is 8. Okay? So on this one we're going to do negative 8 squared again is 64. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 times positive 8 is negative 64. 64 minus 64 is 0. Okay, so 0 is my discriminant, so I'm looking at step 3. It says if the amount is 0, then there is only one real solution. So we'd say one real solution, okay? And that's it. And this will be important later when we work on graphing again, okay? That's it. Any questions on numbers 1 or 2? Okay, so what I'd like you to do is, today's Monday, let's have 1 solid 2s about number 1, and then 2 solids about number 2, and then I'd like you to write these down. Ready, set, and top. Okay, so we're going to do the next one together, so pull out your iPads. This one you could do on your iPads. Number 3. That's not what I pressed. Sorry. I'll do that again, actually. So that's 1 and 2, I'm sorry. Number 3. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is figure out A, B, and C. So on this one, are A, B, and C all organized yet, or no? No, so what should we do first? Subtract 9 on both sides. So we're going to have k squared plus 5k is plus 6 is all equal to 0. Okay, what's A equal to, everyone? Good. You're all doing this on your iPads, right? Some of you do it on your papers. I'd like to see your work. B is equal to what? 5. And C is equal to 6. Okay, so now we're going to write down the the discriminant in the quadratic formula, which is b squared minus 4ac. Okay? And we're substituting b as 5, so this would be 5 squared minus 4 times 1 times 6. Okay? So we're doing PEMDAS. Are there any parentheses we have to deal with? Are there? No, there are not. Are there any exponents? 5 squared is 25. Okay, then we have to do multiply next. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. And then negative 4 times 6 is negative 24. Okay, finish up the problem. Show me the discriminant, box the discriminant, and then tell me how many solutions there are. And it's, the answer is 1, of course, because 25 minus 24 is 1. And therefore it's positive, so it's 2 real solutions, okay? I know that might have been a little confusing because the answer was 1, but there are 2 real solutions. Good. Next one, number 4. Okay, is it all organized? Yeah, so A is what? B? C? Good. Turn to your neighbor, tell him what you would do next. I don't hear you talking. What would you do next? Okay, we're writing down the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac, and plugging in each of the numbers in the appropriate location. Okay, work this one out for me, please. Ready, set, go. We got 1 squared is 1. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. Negative 20 times 4 is negative 80, right? 1 minus 80 is negative 79. I saw some positive 79s, right? That would be wrong. Okay, so that's your discriminant. And since it's negative, we know there are no real solutions. Okay, some of you just put no solution. I want you to put no real solutions. Because there are solutions in Algebra 2. You'll learn about imaginary numbers. So it's a whole new set of numbers. You'll touch on that. But you need to know the difference between real and imaginary. So just in the future, just know that there's no real solutions. Okay, let's have you do a couple more. That way I know you're ready to do this by yourself. So number 5, by yourself. Ready, set, go. So on this one, if you're going to work it all out, we know it's one real solution. We know it's going to be b squared, which is going to be 2 squared, minus 4 times 1 times 1. So we got 4 minus 4, which is all equal to 0. So one real solution. Okay. Okay, number 6, last one, all by yourself. Go. So on this one, we know that C is not combined, so we are going to have to subtract 2 here first. And when we do that, we have 5r squared minus 3r plus 2, all equal to 0. So we got A is equal to 5, B is equal to negative 3, and C is equal to 2. We're going to put in B squared minus 4AC. So we got negative 3 all squared minus 4 times 5 times 2. So we got negative 3 squared is 9. Then we have negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. Negative 20 times 2 is negative 40. 9 minus 40 is negative 31. Okay. Some of you had different answers there, so raise your hand if you made a silly mistake on that calculation. I know some of you did. Okay, so since it's a negative number, step 4 it says there are no real solutions when it's negative, so we'd put no real solutions. Okay, that's it. Any questions on numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6? Anyone? Good? Feel tired? Yeah. Early morning. I slept in on accident. But I got here barely on time.